Better than the $500 one?
Yo. Championship are about to be won. Oh man, I choked. I was gonna do like
Oh my god.
It's like championship week.
Stop the
It's not
stream,
championship
restart.
week. Sorry, I'm in a new place, guys. New house. I moved in. We'll do the tour later. Not actually. We're gonna do a tour of how to win your fantasy league on the stream. Right, Jeremy, say something, please. How's it going? Oh no, I'm gonna do normal intro.
I'm watching the water fill up the ship. It's going down.
Jeremy, how are you doing? How heading into this week, everyone was doing it. You were checking the formula for how you get the bye, how you're gonna make the playoffs in a certain league you're on the bubble in. How did the week go for you, week 14? Because it was a wonky one. It was a weird one, especially anybody that needed some Jalen Hurts points Monday night.
It is for my fantasy teams, not a good year. Not a good year. A lot of them are more on the fringe of the 5-6, or like not 5-6, 6-7 or 7-8, not 6-7, 7-8, missing the playoffs. I have a couple in the playoffs, and a couple of them are top teams where it's like, okay, I feel good. They have a good runway. But a lot of those like middle teams where I was trying to play the let me have my future and also maybe get lucky with a couple hits. Those are the teams that have really fizzled out. Kind of stuck in a lot of that 6-8 records where I don't really know what direction to go. I'm not going to get a super high draft pick. Also, don't have a good run or a chance of actually getting my buyback. So it's something that I will say self-admittedly, I got a lot going on. I'm not always grinding the week in, week out waivers and trades and things like that I should be in some of these leagues. And that's kind of more me being like, hey, I need to do that more because I would probably see 5 to 15% better outcomes on a lot of these teams.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I could tell you were switching into grind mode because I got a random Kareem Hunt for a third offer from you one morning.
I know you're desperate. You got the Tyron.
I was desperate. I traded for Chris Rodriguez to lock in my 6 PPR fantasy points last week to fill my RB2 spot. But what is up, Kyle? Hello, Daddy and Daddy Jr. Will, you barely made it in Charlie, and I barely made it in Charlie. And decided, you know what, barely making the playoffs. You know what I need to do when I barely make the playoffs and don't have my 26 first? Let's ship away that 27 first, baby. Come on, let's get some more point scorers for Will's first best ball dynasty league. But no, I'm pumped. I know we got a ton of chat messages from earlier. Kondranos, Dynasty Jake, Justin Tech. I have it pulled up and ready. We're gonna hit those right now, guys. I remembered to say it. Like the stream if you're here.
Wow.
Subscribe if you're not. Let's get that number to 1,914. Come on, guys. Talk about a week in
almost
Alpha.
2,000. Almost 2,000.
Alpha was wild. Honestly, all of the Daddy leagues were pretty wild. For Alpha Daddy, I had a chance to secure the bye if I beat the number 1 team. Did not. And Bravo Daddy tanked, have the 101, and also traded for a first in the startup, and I have the 103 as well. Let's go. This is
that's good. That's good.
Make some magic happen. Hopefully, looking forward to that. But let's hit some of the messages. It's not all about Will's leagues, although I will talk about my leagues because it's a lot more fun. In Charlie, I made a 12 win streak to make the playoffs. Super pumped. Let's go. I think who do you play first round, Kyle? I know I think I play Diaz. Where's Big Diaz energy? I was doing some scouting.
Playoffs in there.
Yeah, I think you have a bye, unfortunately, which is classic.
I think I did. I kind of just packed it in at that point.
Classic, Jeremy. All right, first message up here. What's up, Kondranos? 0.5 PPR, 0.5 point per first down. Pick 1 for flex. Godwin versus Atlanta, Diggs versus Buffalo, Gainwell versus Miami, Charbonnet versus the Colts, Corum versus Detroit. Also starting Kyron and Kenneth Walker in my RB slots. I think I'm with the RB picks. I am probably Gainwell is so interesting just because of how much of a lock he has on that pass catching role. Like being able to potentially just lock in 6 receptions is like kind of crazy at the running back spot. Diggs is tough. You're coming off the bye week, but you're at I think 2 straight less than 50% snap shares. But he does get the revenge game. Mike Evans
Yeah, I
might
mean,
be
New
back.
England is always tough. New England's always tough because they'll spread the ball out. Like it's very much like, how do we beat this team? Not, oh, we need to feed our guys.
Yeah, I might. Man, I think with Mike Evans coming back, I think if Mike Evans was out for another week, I'd probably go Godwin, just from what we saw the past couple weeks. But I'm probably between. It's definitely between Diggs, Godwin, and Gainwell for me. I know Corum had a monster game, but I'm just, I don't know how often those are going to happen, even with the split they have. So I'm, man, am I crazy for going Gainwell?
I don't hate it, just because there is also the upside of, if Warren goes down, Gainwell is going to get all of a sudden this massive workload that both Diggs and Godwin probably wouldn't get.
Yeah. I think there's just no reason for me to think the Gainwell role is going to disappear.
Especially in half PPR, where it's like, Godwin or Diggs, if they do get a 10 catch game, isn't going to be as impactful if I know my running back's going to get 10 or 6 catches and then have additional work on top of that. If it was full PPR, I might, veer more of just lock in a Godwin, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's enough mouths to feed. And Baker knows how to throw the ball, especially against a bad Atlanta team.
Oh, sorry. Just saw the message come through. Becca made the playoffs by the skin of her neck. Is that a thing? Skin of my neck?
Yeah, it's like the
skin of my neck. Well, I know that you have skin on your neck. I'm asking if the phrase is. I thought it was like the skin of my teeth, but
it's not like
it doesn't matter. All that matters.
Let's.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the live stream.
8 minutes in. This is we're going off rails already.
No, heck yeah, Becca. Let's go. Who's gonna say something now? You better put it in the Slack or the Teams chat.
0-6. Wow. 0-6, or it's like 0-5 and 0-6 to start, and we just rattled them off. And were some of them ugly? Yes. Some of them were very ugly.
I don't think I've ever had a pretty win in fantasy.
Xavier Worthy, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Judkins
squad, JCM. We do have Judkins. We have Judkins.
JCM.
And
oh man, how many JCM jam weeks were just brutal. Oh, well, let's go.
During the 0-6 start.
It doesn't matter. We don't care about the past. All we care about is the future, the championship, and who's on a better trajectory. Hey, I'll take Becca's team over the bye week teams, man. We're here. Let's go. Heck yeah. Ooh.
It was a stressful wait. They had Herbert and Labaconki with like a 30-point lead, or 30 points to make up. And
that is
was like, it's over. And then the Monsters Inc. game delivered. That's all I gotta say.
I did you watch any? I only watched like clips.
I've seen some clips
from that. I did watch a little bit of the Simpsons one they did. Man, I don't know why they do it for like the Monday night games. Like, I would love to watch that with my daughter. She'd get a kick out of that.
They did it for the Super Bowl, that one, or not the Super Bowl. It
was one of the London games,
playoff game,
or was it? Maybe it was a London game. I thought it was an early game for some reason. It was like Jags, Falcons. Somebody. I remember Bijan juking.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember the Bijan.
Toy Story Bijan.
I don't. It's Toy Story though. Didn't they have a Simpsons game as well?
Yes, it was and that was Bengals something.
The Bengals, yeah.
All right, everyone tuned in to the Dynasty Trade Show.
I don't understand the purpose of those. Like, it's interesting technology.
To get your children addicted to football.
But I'm here for it. Let's just get weird with it.
It makes for good memes.
I'd rather them do that.
I think it hits all age bases. Children through adults who find it hilarious that Jalen Hurts threw an interception to James P. Sullivan.
And the Sullivan edits those are funny. The dramatic music, the Sullivan like kicking a 60-yard field goal and then picking Jalen Hurts off.
Ooh, parents are roasting. Apparently it is skin of my teeth. No, okay, my bad. I probably shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I should have like DM'd Jeremy just to correct you for the future. That's my bad for putting you on blast to the
that's
10 plus viewers watching.
We're gonna lose this week now.
I think I'm gonna lose because that was a weird one.
Neck.
The skin of your neck. All right, Dynasty Jake, to clinch a playoff win, are you starting Genty versus the Eagles or Harvey versus Green Bay? Oh my goodness, look at this team. Already has CMC, Henry, and Bucky locked in.
Dang. So I assume it's probably like a flex. I think I'd
Yeah.
just go Harvey. I feel like Harvey has the games where he'll just get 2 touchdowns, and
The
it's like I'll just take the touchdown upside of him versus Genty, who is a one-man offense against one of the better defenses in the league.
Yeah, I think when I'm close, like it's really hard to bench Genty with the role, but when I'm close between two players, I would just pick the one that I think is less likely to totally implode. Like Genty is way more likely. Like yes, he might have the floor of receptions, but he's way more likely to just have a holy cow. You know, the Raiders just were absolutely terrible today. Especially with are we gonna have Kenny Pickett slinging it? Do we have any Geno updates? I don't know how much that matters for your trust in the Raiders offense, but yeah, I'd probably go Harvey.
Go
I know,
pick
like
up Phillip Rivers.
yeah. Oh man, I did not screenshot a graphic for the Phillip Rivers signing to the Colts practice squad. But I think he probably plays this year. I don't know if he'll play this week, but
I mean, they got to. They traded all their first-round picks, and the Daniel Jones injury couldn't happen at like a worse time.
the Rivers stuff is interesting because wasn't he like the emergency quarterback for the Niners when Purdy was hurt a couple years ago? Do you remember that?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he would have played in the Super
Purdy
Bowl
and then
if they won
Josh
that game against the
Johnson.
Eagles. Yeah. Whew. Can I buy a roster review for my... At this point, what's the... Is it just like the lock in the waiver wire moves? I know we have a DST question, which I'm fine going wherever you guys want to go with this stream. I know that a lot of leagues, you have the trade deadlines. A lot of I'm at a lot of leagues that have no trade deadlines all the way through the playoffs, or it's, after the first week or something. But all right, this is a good one here. What would a great offseason move be? Should I get a great player or get the 101? This feels like a very loaded question.
Why not both? But yeah.
So is this question?
I'll take both, please.
Would you like if you currently
Trade
have
the 101?
the 101? And I think the only way that I would really, obviously whatever the offer is, that's a different conversation. But to me, a vet versus the 101, like if you're a competing team that has the 101 from another team or something, I think that's what we're working with. Let us know, Kyle. Let us know. Pay me the full picture. Lord knows that Will struggles to understand things sometimes. Looking to contend immediately. And I assume, Kyle, this is just like a full conversation we're having. I assume this is the scenario I have in my mind. First week of the playoffs, you have the 101, you have no trade deadline, or it's at least still open for this week. Are you going to move that 101 that you have locked in to secure and feel more confident in your contending push? Let me know. What up, gents? What up, B-Snides? All right, let me pull up.
Yeah, I'm a little confused what direction you're going with here. I'm not giving a discount on the 101 though.
Especially
this is where it's going to be legit, and then you're also walking into like, Notre Dame's had a bad press week. Maybe don't lose to Miami, but Jeremiah Love is everything is advertised that you want, especially in a fantasy football running back, and a lot of the landing spots are showing him landing in the Vikings or something, could just be a prime spot for fantasy production. And that being said, sure, there's the Genties and stuff like that. But even now, if Genty 101 last year isn't that impactful, you can always trade him week 8, week 10. Yeah. I'm not moving the 101 being like, oh, let me go get, a random player X or whatever. I imagine no one's going to overpay for the 101 because it doesn't have the same hype as last year's class. But, Jeremiah Love might be better than Genty when he's all said and done, especially with his landing spot, because the Raiders are certainly
I think it's a lot of
one or two players away from being a decent. Yeah. So to me, I'm like, cool. I have one of the most desirable pieces. The only thing I would really be looking to do is like, hey, does one of the 102, the 103, the 104, like starting to identify the tiers that you feel comfortable with, and then just constantly updating that, and then also seeing if anyone wants to pay to move up. Because I say it every year. I say it last year. I was like, if you have Ashton Genty, you should just try to trade back to the 102 and take Hampton and whatever plus you get. Because the reality is, both of them are going to probably be pretty similar for fantasy football. And so far, Hampton's been better just because his situation is better. So like that's what I'd be looking for. It's like what's the difference between him or Love or Tyson or Tate or Makai Lemon? Like all those guys are going to be within the same tier theoretically value wise. So I'll just take any of them, and if I can get any plus on that, that's the move I'd be trying to make if I have the 101.
Mm-hmm. I either want the 101 or a vet so I can compete next year. My team is here. Okay.
Oh, so you don't have the 101.
And this is for next year. Yeah, the 101, like I am very pumped and excited for Jeremiah Love, but I think like the year in and year out, like expecting smash rookie production, like the dynasty value that you would have to trade away to like get that dynasty asset on your team, like purely for contending purposes, I think typically is not worth it. But obviously if you're asset rich and are able to do that and still, have first left over to work with, or, additional seconds to fill out the other spots. If we get a smash landing spot, I'm with it. I didn't mean to confuse you guys. No worries. It would happen regardless.
If you want Jeremiah Love or whatever top guy, what you got to do is you got to wait for like week 6 when they haven't completely smashed yet. And then that's when you trade for him. Because you can go out and get Ashton Ginty right now for a much more reasonable price than if you were trying to buy him pre-draft. Like, that's not the best value play from I'm trying to contend move. Like, it'd be more of like, let's go out and get the next year's Devontae Adams, which might honestly just be Devontae Adams. But, players like that.
All right, I think I have 2 more messages from earlier. So we've got a DST one here. Any suggestions for streaming week 16 DSTs? Trying to plan ahead since I got the bye. To me,
let's go.
Looking ahead at matchups and also let's go. Way to get the bye. I know people's default is typically to look at like who the worst teams are playing. So like who's playing the Titans, who's playing the Raiders. You've got Chiefs Titans week 16. You've got Texans Raiders would be ideal. I assume Texans are rostered, but I know a lot of people drop good defenses when they're playing what people perceive as like really good offenses, and they don't want to roster 2. So because the Texans just played the Chiefs, would not have surprised me if Texans get dropped in a lot of redraft leagues. So people could play different matchups there. But I think Texans would be my priority. Don't hate Chiefs Titans.
Yeah, do you think the Texans are available though? You're talking about like the number 1 defense basically all year.
So I'm only saying that in the context of they just played the Chiefs, and I could see people heading into that week being like, crap, I can't play this defense. They're playing Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then they drop them. Like I see a lot of that happens in a lot of leagues. I'm saying that as somebody who has a lot of Texans on my benches in my redraft leagues.
Underrated defense here. New York Football Giants. Right? Next week they play Washington. Then they play Minnesota. And then they play Vegas. You can't get much easier than that. Like, if there's anything to happen, it's going to be Brian Burns getting 8 sacks against Minnesota in week 16. Sorry, 9 sacks. Also, Dallas Cowboys aren't terrible. They have Minnesota, Chargers, and the Commanders. So I think, I do think the Saints I would like more from the week 16 on, though, because you do have the Jets and the Titans, which probably going to put up a combined 6 points. So, it's a pretty safe floor that you're going to get from them. Trying to see if there's any other ones that I'm missing.
Yeah, let me know. I'm going to pull up.
Detroit Lions. Pitt, Minnesota.
Best commish. All right, I'm kind of how can I best explain this? I am not a great commissioner, but I am very aware of my flaws as a commissioner, and I work around them. Okay, so I do appreciate this message. I want to call it out. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate anyone willing to be a commish and go through it all.
You know what it
'Cause
was?
it's a lot of tedious work sometimes.
When we set up the Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie Daddy leagues, I added to the questionnaire, would you be willing to be the commissioner? And then I didn't do the work to like vet those and find somebody who would commission each of the leagues. And then it never happened. And I was like,
You're like,
I
it's
mean,
just
somebody,
easier for me to do it.
somebody has to do it. And yeah, it ended up just being that. But shout out to everybody paying. I think I have to do a better job of collecting future payments. But
Yeah, that's always the
that's for a different
pain.
stream. I know. Oh.
I wish if Sleeper's listening, you got payment integrations with your pick'ems. When is it payment
Right.
integration with the platforms?
my
I'm like, that should
goodness.
be an easy. You already got the back end code. You should just be able to be like, yes, I want to pay dues.
It has to be something with like the
I think it's
laws,
legal.
around like fantasy sports and paying to play, and then it turns into like gambling stuff. Like I'm sure there's a lot of funky stuff there.
Yeah, some sort of regulation, I imagine.
But come on, companies have worked around worse. Let's figure it out.
If Kalshi can exist, then I
Right.
think I can pay for my fantasy league in the platform.
We need I'm sure that there'll be some good Kalshi pick'ems for Dynasty Daddy trade show related props. All right. Panthers. I wanted to pull this one up. Jake, I want you to know that I have to
This is for Jake.
I have to pull all these together beforehand if I miss out on getting like the overlay stuff set up for the chat messages. And I had to make sure to not leave this one out for you, especially. Panthers need a Bucs loss and win against the Saints this week, then to beat the Bucs in week 16 to clinch the NFC South. How are you feeling about it, Jeremy? Panthers Saints, very winnable.
I don't want to say I have hope, but this isn't the craziest, right? Like, that being said, I fully expect us to go in and get swept by the Saints this year, but there's a chance, right? Like, that if we can get through, if we don't have to worry about beating the Seahawks or the Bucs twice to win the division, that's a huge win in my book.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were at the point where it's you beat the Saints, you beat the Bucs once, and you're in, then I'm like, hey, there's still a chance. And I'd be there. I'd be there for it. It'd be Tulane making the college football playoffs type of vibe, having the Panthers in there, but I'm here for it. I will say, Will, when we first started the show, you're like, oh, I got to do it with a Panthers fan who wins 5 games a decade. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Lock for the number 1 seed. What's going through your mind as you're still in the hunt? You're right next to the Panthers in the hunt graphic.
I'm feeling great. I am very nervous for the Rams game. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel pretty.
Come on, the Panthers beat them.
Yeah, that's true. We got the blueprint.
The Panthers beat them.
We just need Goff to play like Bryce Young, and we'll be Bing chilling. No, I mean I feel pretty good. I mean Steelers. We got the Steelers week 16. It's just that Rams game, man. It's spooky. It is very hard as a Stafford fanboy to not be very worried about that game. But I believe. And then I also believe, and then I think about Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua versus our current roster of defensive backs who are not on IR or out for the rest of the season. So we just need a ball. All we need to do is give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball every other play, and we can hit up JMO, Amon-Ra in between. We'll be good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, maybe just hit up Amon-Ra a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be good. I do want to do one interesting. I want to get your take on what I think are 2 very interesting dynasty assets heading into the rest of this season and next year. What are the odds? I want a percentage chance that week 1, Tyler Shuck and Shedeur Sanders are the starting quarterbacks for their respective teams. Off of 2 pretty good weeks for both of them. I think the tough thing with Shedeur, I'll paint the picture for you a little bit while you're cracking the numbers and putting the percentage. I think if Shador wins one of these next 3 games, I think it's going to be very hard for the Browns, especially if they have like one loss. Put 100 on it. What is this? Add Kyler to that list. Man, if we got Kyler in the shuck. I mean, Kyler's not the Cardinals starting quarterback next year. I don't see that
Yeah.
that universe. All the Doctor Strange timelines. I don't see Kyler Murray playing for the Arizona Cardinals. Keyword playing.
I think it's probably a 75% chance
For both? Or
for both of them.
okay.
Because this is not a cop-out answer.
They draft somebody and
I just don't think they're going to be in a position to draft a player of higher caliber when they have Sanders looking promising and that like the Browns have a lot of other issues. And it's like, how many times do you just keep hammering quarterback and let the rest of your roster just wither away? And you're like, wait a minute, like we need to probably make other moves outside of just smashing quarterback.
Yeah. The interesting
Sanders next year as an experiment would be fine. And then Shuck has looked pretty solid. I mean, honestly, I think both Rattler and Shuck look. I was like, they're better than I thought they would be. And again, that's another team that has a lot of holes that I don't think just plugging in a Dante Moore would fix. And then you add in the current draft order. You got the Raiders currently at 2. So they're probably going to take a quarterback.
Right.
Mendoza or Dante Moore. We don't even know if Dante Moore is going to be in the draft.
Right.
So we could be in the reality where both Dante Moore and Ty Simpson are like, I'm going back. Ty Simpson probably will, given his, how Bama's done towards the second half of the year. And he's only had like 10 starts or something.
Yep.
So they would probably, I'm sure his agent's like, yo, dude, just go back, get the NIL check. Teams want you to have a little bit more snaps under you or starts under you before they draft you.
Yeah.
So I think realistically, we could only really have one high-end quarterback, Beeford Mendoza, going to the Raiders or another team that trades up. Currently, number 1 is the Giants, but the Giants aren't going to take them.
Yeah,
but I doubt like the Saints or the Browns would trade up to 101 or 102 to take a quarterback.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting aspect is a lot of these other 3-10 teams are like potentially in the market for a quarterback as well. Like, would not surprise me at all if the Jets are a team that takes a quarterback high and does that thing Jets. Again. You got the Cardinals at 3-10. Like, Jacoby's having a great year, but you're not winning games. You're 3-10. Like, could that be a project quarterback first round pick? Let's give Jacoby another year. Learn under his wings.
The Rams. Get someone behind Stafford. They got 2 first-round picks this year.
I don't buy that one as much, just because I do think that if you get like literal MVP Stafford season and him and Devontae are willing to run it back this year, I think it would just be. It doesn't feel very. I don't know. This might be a little bit too narrative-y, but I don't think a lot of teams would do what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers. Doing the Jordan Love thing when you've got an MVP quarterback.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because like the team has so much talent that it's like I just keep stacking the deck, and then like you can find somebody. There's always a project quarterback that got kicked out, but it's like Sean McVay can resurrect anyone. So I wouldn't feel like I need to get a quarterback versus like the Jets or someone like that. Because if you're at the Jets, you're like I need like Andrew Luck or Cam Newton or Tom Brady to walk through the door and just completely lift the program up. You don't have that kind of mastermind that just constantly puts their players in the best spot to win. The Jets always find a way to mess it up. So I think there's very few teams that actually do have that situation where they can probably make any quarterback decent. But all that to say is I do think Shuck and Sanders are going to be at least starting week 1 next year. Barring something crazy, barring like Shuck, absolutely pooping his pants for every single game, and then they're like, okay, we obviously can't do this.
Yeah, and he's played pretty well, and he's running too. I mean, for fantasy, like they've got him doing a lot more zone reads than I'd expect for somebody with his college football injury history. But he can run, man, and if you get a little bit of that, you've got what I think is a pretty good. I like Kellen Moore, but I just think it's an interesting conversation, kind of the quarterback carousel and expectations for next year, especially with how people think about this draft class. And I think it's obviously going to impact how first round picks are handled in terms of, the top of the class and, the Jeremiah Loves and people liking some of these receivers. And then where would Mendoza go? And then where would even some of these other quarterbacks go, especially when you think about Cam Ward last year, being a lot of people's 103 through 105 versus some of these other hits at the positions. But want to talk
Yeah, I
through
mean,
it?
I think too, like another thing to factor in is there's not a lot of backup quarterbacks that people would feel comfortable rolling out as a starter that are on 1-year deals.
Right.
Like everyone's like, oh, Mac Jones, oh, Jameis Winston. All those are 2-year deal guys. They're not free agents next year.
Yeah.
So
Teams love having good backup
and
quarterbacks.
even now with the Daniel Jones situations, like that's the one interesting one now because it's like, okay, are the Colts going to re-sign him? Is it going to be a long deal?
I think he gets
Achilles injuries are really tough to come back from.
Yeah.
So that's the one situation where I'm like, it kind of throws a screw into how I was thinking about it because I was like, there's no way the Colts let him out after basically putting the Colts on the map and saving everyone's job.
Yeah, my take on the Daniel Jones situation is I think he's just lost his chance to get the big check again. Like he got with the Giants recently, the 2-3 year deal, big money. My guess would be that it's kind of like a team friendly. He understands the situation of if they're going to give me a chance to win a starting job here, it's not like I'm going to go to some other team and get some big money deal. It's going to be the same kind of situation somewhere else. So why wouldn't I just stay with, a situation that, I had decent success with, come back from the injury. Yeah, man, poor Danny Dimes.
Do you think, because this is also a late season injury, right? So yeah. I doubt he's going to be ready week 1. I'm curious what the week 1 starter for the Colts will be. Like, is that going to be like a Kyler situation?
Phillip Rivers.
Something weird like that. Yeah, like
it's interesting. Yeah,
because most realistically, they're probably going to cut Kyler. And maybe Anthony Richardson. I doubt they're like. I feel like
his eyes
that's
doing.
Kind of a weird spot. Yeah, that's.
I have not heard anything about that.
AR revenge season. Yes.
All right, I do have a live stream ask team.
Yeah, I think we have 2, right?
Yes, I'm trying to decipher this Christopher live stream ask, but I've got one ready to pull up, so I'll start there.
Christopher always has bars.
All right, all right, I'm at the new setup, guys. If I could, a slightly more grace than you would give me in a normal stream, because I know I already get the grace. But let's see if this works. Bang! All right, we're there.
Let's see it.
Boom, Bookie. Is this Bookie boy? This is Bookie from last stream. You look so funny. You look. I need to fix your cam because it's giving. You got any games on your phone? You're like set up in the top corner.
My setup?
No, it's half my fault. Because I don't have you cropped well enough. But no, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. I can move my camera.
Nah, you're good. I don't know if people.
Both of our setups are in the.
See now we're playing cam tag. No, this is fine. I can work with this. All right, don't worry, guys. I know everyone comes here to stare at our beautiful faces while we talk Dynasty, so I want to make sure it's all set up for people. All right. Did I miss the Phillip Rivers Super Bowl hype up? No, you did not. But we did.
Hey,
his name was mentioned.
I've been in on Phillip Rivers ever since he was 19.
Riley Leonard made some throws, but man, that is just like not the sample size I want for the rest of my Colts for the rest of the year. Is, hey, he made some throws. Let's see how it looks. So I'll take it, man. I'll take a 67-year-old quarterback. All right, Buki here. Locked up the number 1 seed. Let's go. First in points 4. Was able to find a small trade for running back after Achane owner was not willing to listen. I feel your pain. Had a similar situation, but it's not about me. Was Theo Johnson and a 27 fourth for Tyron Tracy and Vele was the trade for the running back. Feeling better about Woody and Harvey's workloads, but thinking I've got a good chance this year. I will say the run out with this team is kind of nice with getting the bye with the Drake London injury. You've got
That's
RJ
true. Yeah,
Harvey,
Drake London out.
good role rest of season. Woody, Tracy. I do like the cheap running back buy, especially when you don't have your own 26 first. Like you're not digging into 27 to build this super team that obviously already is good enough to get a buy and be first in points for with Josh Allen, Drake May, and these receivers. I like this team and I like the move too. Like maybe Tyron Tracy is not. I don't want him to be the holy grail of cheap running backs that you want to roster on your contending teams, but I think that type of move I like more than pushing in your 27 first to build a super running back room.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, like selling a ton of your future can just be very risky. And I do think this is a team that has a ton of flexibility. Josh Allen, Drake May, JSN, Drake London, Nico Collins, like
The
the
receivers are
core is
young.
there. Like next year, you're going to feel great about that. 2 years from now, you're still going to feel good. Um, and while sure you could try to pay up and overpay for a guy or get someone maybe a little bit flashier than like
And you've got
a
Aaron
Tracy or a
Jones.
Sharps, they're not gonna be the reason you win, right? Like the reason you win is JSN, Drake London, Josh Allen has a game like he did last week. Like those are the reasons your team's gonna win. You're not gonna be able to find that at this late into the season. So I don't mind it. I mean, RJ Harvey also is someone that he's very volatile, right? He's someone that has like 3 points or he has like 20. But that's kind of what you want with a team like this. You have your solid hitters, and then you can kind of put in a couple of those spike week high variance guys. Woody Marks has gotten a good rollout. Aaron Jones, you know, he gives you 2 good quarters before that shoulder gives out, but I tell you, it's like worth 8 points. So if you want like a lame, but he's probably going to get 8 points type of player, that's Aaron Jones. Um, if Bucky goes down, Sean Tucker scored a touchdown last week. I mean, he's still another guy that can go nuclear if things break your way into playoffs because it's not like your team's stuck like this for now. So honestly, this is not the worst running back room to have. And like you said, not giving up a ton of your future is key, right? If you were like, I gave up a ton of my future, then you're sitting there being like, cool, I do have A Chain. That makes my team look better. But now I don't have any high value picks until 2028.
Yeah.
And then that's when you have to have the uncomfortable decision of like, maybe next year I'm going to have to sell a Drake London or a Josh Allen or someone like that to recoup value or plug holes if an injury hits me.
Yeah. And that's the future aspect that I like looking ahead in when I'm trying to do these kind of moves, which is funny to say as somebody who's made a couple pushing in my first trades for some contending teams. But just like the confidence level. So like let's say, I mean, Derrick Henry, you're probably not sending a first for at this point, but like
No.
that player in the context of you push your first for a Derrick Henry type, how confident are you that that player is even going to be more meaningful point production than your other running backs you would slot in that spot? And then a year from now, what flexibility do you have with that asset versus you have your first in the future that you could tack onto one of these running backs or whatever to, have a conversation about Achan or some of these other elite running backs. So like it's not like you're locked out of ever making that kind of move, even though you don't feel awesome about the running back room. But additional
Yeah.
note here. No, I was just gonna
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
he added in. This was the league with a ton of people on the cusp. Half the league ended up either tied for sixth or a game back. So almost nobody wanted to move bigger names I inquired about. Yeah, that's tough. I had a couple
Yeah, I
people I
remember
reached out
looking at
to.
that league.
Yeah. But no, I like the move. I think a lot of times like we would look at this, and if you had your 26 first, we'd be talking, you could, it's going to be late. Let's push this in to get Josh Jacobs or whatever. I feel like is the name we always throw in there. But I
Yeah,
think
Josh Jacobs.
I think with the run out that you're getting from RJ Harvey and Woody Marks, like the role is still solid. So it's not like you're starting total scrubs and you have, Tracy Jones that you could start in a pinch with these awesome receivers.
Yeah, they're touching the ball, right? Like it might not be the best. You might look up running back rankings for week 15 and it's going to be like, hey, Woody Marks isn't top 5, but he's going to touch the ball 19, 20 times. And all it takes is him to fall into the end zone once. And all of a sudden, he's going to finish as a top 10 running back.
Yeah.
So that to me is like, I just want touches. And both Woody Marks and Harvey have those touches. And then you also got the players like Aaron Jones, who has high volume or high value targets. But he gets injured so much to me, I like that you have enough in there to where if an injury happens or something like that, you can still take advantage of it as the season progresses or as the playoffs progress.
Beautiful. Love it. All right. I've got let's see. I'm gonna hit you with let's do this while I'm getting Christopher's ready. I've got a trade I made in the Charlie Daddy League. Appreciate the feedback, fellas. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for submitting in the live stream ask Discord channel. If you're not in the Discord, link in the description.
Killing it.
Join it. All right.
I always do love the early post. I'm like, it's nice to have something like already in the chamber when you go live.
I get it ready. All right. Big boy trade that I made in Charlie Daddy. This is the Dynasty Daddy League. Best ball. Start 13, I'm guessing. 2 tight end. 0.75 tight end premium as well. So that's going to play a big part in this trade. I am a contender, some would say. I have made the playoffs, so I am going to constitute myself as a contender. But
as some would say.
And I also don't have my 26 first, which may or may not have played into me pushing in even further by trading away my 27 first in this move. So I'm going to read this off to you. I've got it pulled up on screen, and I'm going to get Christopher's question ready. Shout out to Fantasy Meatball, who was the other end of this trade. Asked if I was going to talk about it on the stream. The answer is yes. I acquire Jane Daniels, Marcus Mariota, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs, Jake Tuggus, and a third for Caleb Williams, Mason Taylor, Kraft, a 26 second, and my 27 first. Thoughts?
Honestly, I see it both ways, like while you do, the thing that hurts a lot on best ball is just having a player on IR. They're not going to do anything, right? Yeah. So having the Tucker Kraft burning a hole on your roster hurts. Doubling up with the Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota, you're basically always going to capture that value. And Mariota is one of those high value fantasy backups that can drop a 30 bomb. Kittle should be good. Josh Jacobs. It's a lot of value to give up, but I do think this is one of the leagues I would do it in a best ball league that's very deep, because there's a lot of chances where, Kittle's going to have a big week. Okay, that's going to break my starting lineup. Marcus Mariota has a big week. Okay, that impacts my starting lineup. I feel better about moving a lot of my future if I'm getting back a ton of different shots on that, because the depth in best ball is so impactful. That being said, this is like the perfect return if I'm a team that's not at the top. Yeah. Right? Like, this is a dream for me
in this format too.
Caleb Williams, a first, a second. I get Tucker Kraft, who next year will be amazing in the tight end premium, because this has a pretty decent tight end premium if I recall.
Yeah, 0.75.
And then you also get Mason Taylor, who's not a scrub.
Yeah.
Because basically my whole strategy was like, I'm just going to get all these random tight ends that no one values, and some of them are going to pop off, and they do. And all they need is like 3 catches, and they're breaking your starting lineup.
Yeah.
So I do think that was good return on the meatball side, but I also think you can't complain about getting Jaden Daniels, a long-term dynasty piece, with some win now pieces of Jacobs, Kittle that could totally be the deciding votes when you're facing teams this week and next week, and facing me in the finals. I have a bye, so
that's true. And it's
I don't know. I might see you next week. I don't know if you're on my side of the bracket.
Big Diaz hated this trade. For obvious reasons, playing Big Diaz this week. Best of luck to you, Big Diaz, next year. You're gonna need it. Nah, it's actually I was doing some scouting. My life has changed, guys. I'm a busy man. I'm moving to a new house. It's the winter time, very busy. And I cannot always watch all the games on Sunday like I used to. Used to be cooped in my office, all the screens up, every single game going at once. And can't always do that live. So I will replay watch them. And so what I'm doing now, new house, congrats, I appreciate it. So what I do now is I rewatch. I try to do no spoilers. I don't look at my phone all day. No text from my friends. And I rewatch the games. And I have all my fantasy matchups in all my leagues like ready without knowing the scores from the players. So I can kind of get a little bit of the feel. So I was doing some scouting. I was pulling up both of our teams, our full rosters, which is less fun in a best ball league because I have to pull everyone together, not just the starting lineup. But it'll be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
We need fantasy red zone with a rewind scrubber.
Yeah. I know it's
press play and see when all your players score.
I wonder if I can. I don't know. I don't know how much weight first week of the fantasy playoffs is going to carry in my wife negotiations for letting me watch football all day Sunday. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. You don't watch as much anymore. Hey, I watch just as much, if not more. I'll tell you what. I rewatched. I wasn't even able to watch the Monday night game when it was happening, but I needed a bad Jalen Hurts game to make the home league playoffs, and boy did I get it. Boy did I get the bad Jalen Hurts game. Let's go. Land the plane. Will versus Diaz. He's trying to land the plan on me. Nah, bro.
That's a big one. That's a the streamer versus chat playoff matchup right there.
Let's go. All right. The Christopher message is just, I've gone sicko mode. I don't have it pulled up here.
I don't.
But this is a super team. 12th. This has got to be
Rosetta Stone.
Look at this, like the 12-1 overall rank to starter rank. That like has to be the Christopher. And it's just like, why would I have all these picks when I could turn them into awesome players?
Yeah, you open it up and you're like, wait, did the picks not load for some reason? And you realize, no, he traded every single pick.
Value 0. I wonder if there's just one team that just has like all. Yep.
It's got to be
first, 26 third, 27 first, 28 first.
26, 27, 28. I would love to be that team. That's a team where you're just like 2027, 2028, you're just going to have 2 draft classes.
I think I did get some trades as a part of this. So let me pull this puppy up here.
Yeah, we got the trade trees.
All right, here's one of them. This is Ricky Pearsall, Woody Marks, Marshawn Lloyd for some Travis Etienne. Okay. I mean, on this team, you know,
this is the hard part that Christopher's going to have to start wrestling with, is that when you have picks, everyone wants a pick. But now that you don't have any picks, you're going to have to find people that want your players if you got to make deals. Like, it's going to get a lot harder to continue, you know, laying down track as the train comes before the train derails.
Yeah. The one nice thing that you do have, though, is that I treat like Josh Allen, JSN, Drake London, Trey McBride, they're kind of like get out of jail free assets where if like shit really hits the fan, pardon my French, it's playoff week, you can tear down off of those players.
You gotta lock in
very easily. Like it is very easy to find someone who will pay for Drake London, JSN, Trey McBride, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, 1 QB league.
Scores a lot of fantasy points, though.
You might.
If there was ever an asset,
you might not.
That's true.
Same.
That's true. That's fair. All right, I do have another one. I was really trying to find a way to not pull this up on screen because holy cow. I think maybe this is just worth just looking at in all its glory versus truly analyzing each aspect of the trade chart.
So I'm pulling up
tree.
the history. So we'll have a visual, and then I will provide like a endless ocean narration of what's going on here, what you're seeing.
Oh, I could do some. We could do some activity feeds.
So
you ever get an activity feed breakdown of your team? That's got to be pretty intense. The Dynasty Daddy trade show, we're pulling down every single free agent. I love the.
Hey, here's a little Easter egg. Here's a little Easter egg. Is if you click, the trade count at the top, that little card that says total trades, it will filter to only trades.
Banger. All right, what if I
So
hit
that's what I
this
was looking at.
negative 18,000 net value added? Will
I'll
that
just
take
put
me to
we'll
Christopher's
put
DMs?
yeah, Christopher's DMs.
All right, Devontae Adams for Kittle, Jalen Warren, Blake Corum, Mitchell, and Taz Johnson.
Negative 8,000 value.
It's what's the tight end premium in this one? Do we have
Since it's one quarterback, it might be none.
Single quarterback? 12 by 9. 0.5 PPR. You know what? I will say, like, 0.5 PPR, that kind of is the Devontae Adams format, just because of how much production is coming from receiving touchdowns. Like,
Yeah, that is true.
4
I don't
catches
see
and 2 of them are touchdowns.
in
Yeah.
premium.
Don't think any tight end premium. All right. We'll give you the glorious thing about any kind of breakdown we would give to all these Christopher trades. We love the team direction. Does any of this, but what about your flexibility, bro, matter if he wins this year? You know, and then you feel pretty good about that team for next year as well.
Look, honestly, I get these win now names, right? AJ Brown, George Kittle.
Okay, what are we doing here?
Trading
I'm
George
sorry.
Kittle plus Devontae Adams. I was about to say, what is this Marvin Mims or Rico Dowdle in 2 seconds? Like, what happened here? Did someone steal your phone?
This was a part of the bit. Christopher was ready to submit the team, and then he was like, "Shoot, I've got 2 seconds left. The boys are gonna. I'm not gonna have 0 picks for when they take a look at." That was in the summer. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go
That's
still.
still ridiculous.
I'm gonna go if I do this, and we take off Rico Dowdle. This still is making me sad. I'm gonna say if we do this,
I do think
making me sad.
I do think I remember Christopher in the chat in the summer mentioning Marvin Mims. I think that's when Christopher first shared one of his rosters.
I do think that we made fun of potentially this trade where it was Javonte and he was moving his 28 first, and we were like, why are you doing this now? And then it ended up being like, it's actually like pretty fair value for Javonte at that point.
I will say that Christopher's fun. I don't think I'm in the league with Christopher, but Christopher's the type of manager that is fun to play with because they go against the sentiment, right? They'll have their guys, and sometimes they get burned like Mims, and then sometimes they hit like Javonte Williams.
Yeah, or like this Jalen Warren for a second at the start of the season.
Yeah.
When Caleb Johnson was drafted.
Why are you making this trades? But, kind of zagging and making kind of odd moves is a way that, as long as you're making enough moves, you're going to find hits and misses. But you kind of cancel out the misses as you just keep making more moves. So it's some of these will look bad in a vacuum, but you also got to say, well, for every Marvin Mims, he does hit on a Javonte or a Jalen Warren for a second type deal.
I do this for my daddies. Let's go. All right. I did want to address this one. In all seriousness, now, how do you both feel about Best Ball Dynasty so far? Jeremy, how do you feel about it? Was this your first? It's my first.
It's my first Best Ball Dynasty.
Yeah, I played in Best Ball Redraft before. And obviously Underdog. I drafted.
I will say I'm a convert. I might be a genius at it. I'm like 20-4 or something. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I enjoy it because as I don't enjoy it as much as like my home league or whatever, where it's like this is my league. I want to grind every edge, and like that's one like I'm not as invested on like the week to week. Oh, I need to grind it and know what my roster is inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy it as I have more and more leagues because like I'm getting to the point where I'm in so many leagues and I'm also managing the site and managing, working with Will on making YouTube videos. And it's like, I don't have a ton of time for fantasy, and a lot of it becomes more developing the site, doing things like that, helping out people with issues or, filming videos. To actually grind and put in the work that I would need to for a lot of my other start, like lineup leagues. So the
Mhm.
fact that I can have a strategy, execute it, but not also have to check the app as much on those leagues and still be able to put together a good team is something that, for my very particular use case of I have a bunch of leagues and also I'm doing a bunch of other fantasy things, I love that aspect of it because I can still play Dynasty. And the strategy is kind of interesting too. I like the depth mattering more. It makes players like Adonai
Mhm.
Mitchell in lineup. I'm like, I don't want him at all, right? The
Yeah.
fact that
What can I get
someone's
for
even
this guy?
interested in them,
Yeah.
I'm like, get him off my team. But the fact that that player is actually a perfect player to have on my roster, or like Ryan Florney, like players like that can crush and have those spike weeks, and you actually can realize those. That makes it actually really fun to play. So I do plan on next year because I imagine next year there'll be more people wanting to join leagues and things. I think I'll be joining more Dynasty Best Ball because they're easier for me to manage, and it also makes all these other players I don't usually get to care about in a way more interesting to actually roster and kind of like do trades for.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's it is a nice format for people that are so in the weeds in Dynasty and like, prospects for, rookie drafts and, players that like, I mean, Adonai Mitchell is a good example of like, if you liked this player, that potentially turning into something that's impactful for your team versus just, can I please cash this guy out for a 4/3 swap, like best case scenario players. Um, I do, I do like it. I think we'll see. I'm trying not to put too much of my feelings about best ball into how I perceive my one best ball league to have gone this year. Um, I'm just thinking back to the startup draft. I never trade my first round pick, but I was so like locked into the format. I was like, I kind of want to with start two tight end, whatever. But let's go, man. I don't have the sounder. Thank you, Dynasty Jake. Get me in a best ball next year. Let's go. We'll lock you in. I'll add you to the
For
sheet.
sure.
We fly
Reserved.
high.
Your spot is reserved with the
Oh,
199.
oh wait, I found the button. 1 second. Let me just go to Jeremy. We fly high, no lie. You know it is ballin'. Nice. Let's go. Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get you in there.
That might have been the best 199 you've ever spent,
There we go.
Jake.
We found the new sounder. And also, speaking of best ball, I don't have the graphic pulled up. I was working on the thumbnail potentially for whenever I end up doing
He's
it.
back. He's
I'm
back.
going to be doing some playoff best ball draft streams. I think it is a super fun and interesting format. I'm not going to fully go through it because I feel like last time I tried to do that, I was talking for like 8 minutes explaining it. But basically, you draft teams, you're in pods. It's very similar to like underdog, best ball leagues for the full season, but obviously it's just for the playoffs, and you care a lot about teams advancing. And the most important thing is filling a Super Bowl where you are fielding a full roster: quarterback, running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, flex. I think is the DraftKings one. But yes, very, very fun, very interesting, very game theory focused, and also like roster construction. Super fun. I love drafting best ball teams. So I'll be doing a stream. Don't know when. Maybe next Thursday. Don't make any plans for next Thursday. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to do it, but
cancel all your plans.
actually, wait. No. I'm going to watch the Thursday night game. We'll figure it out, guys. Don't worry. Stay tuned. You can make plans for next Thursday.
I guess there's Wednesdays. There's Wednesdays.
Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, make plans next Thursday.
Friday.
Appreciate it, Diaz. And I can't wait to pop your. No, I'm sure you've lost in the first round of best ball playoffs before, so I won't be popping that next this week. All right.
Hey, we can thank Big Diaz for motivating me to add best ball as a filter to the trade database.
Let's go. Yeah, I like that. That is huge.
Best ball trades.
Yeah, and that was the other thing I was going to talk about for how I feel about best ball. I think for good reason. And I think Diaz, you probably feel the same. I know you've talked about it in like some of the chats before, that you anticipated it being easier in this league with some of your other best ball leagues to make like directional moves. So like this trade I made that I just pulled up was very much a directional move. Obviously, I am moving off of, this fantasy meatball is getting a first. He's out of the playoffs getting a first. Tucker Kraft, IR, rookie Mason Taylor, second round pick. I'm getting Kittle older, Jacobs older, and then Jane Daniels obviously is a different part of that piece. But I anticipated these kind of trades being easier just with my experience in other leagues. But I kind of get it a little bit from the perspective of, like, yes, the teams aren't competing this year, but it's best ball, and players that score points, like, they're going to want to have them on their teams for the next 2-3 years. So I think there's a little bit of an interesting game theory aspect, but I did think it would be easier to move hurt players that are going to be healthy next year to tanking teams or teams that are not going to make the playoffs. That's the one thing I thought was going to be easier. But everyone was making me pay the price.
You thought it was going to be easier, but no one was doing it.
Yeah, and actually, it might have just been coupled a little bit with people not liking Brandon Ayuk and Jaden Reed. Tucker Kraft was the one where I was like, man, nobody wants Tucker Kraft like in a young stud tight end in a start 2 tight end 0.75 tight end premium. But yes sir. But no, I like it. We'll definitely open up, when we're doing leagues next year. We'll definitely have one that is a best ball. All right. Let me double check to make sure we don't have any other live stream asks. Are you how are you feeling overall? I know you gave me the breakdown of some of your teams that were kind of on the edge and not making the playoffs. Oh man, do you want to talk about Fantasy Wrapped? I know you've been posting a little bit in the early access stuff, but
you can pull up the screenshots if you want. Yeah, so it's still in the works, but we are doing a ton of work to level up the Fantasy Wrapped experience as well, and trying to do some fun metrics of like comparing your league or like how many trades happened in your league and compare it to all other leagues and what percentile your league is in certain things. So not only is it like, oh, here's the best value in your draft, but it's going to be, this team was this unlucky. If they had this schedule, they would be 12-2 instead of 6-8 and things like that. Trying to add some more interesting metrics and visuals to it. So I'm excited about that, and we'll be having that right before week 18 once the playoffs are wrap. And I do feel like next year I might try to release it a little bit earlier because the buzz always happens around like Spotify wrap season, which makes sense. Yeah. But then I'm like, fantasy is like just ramping up for the playoffs, so I'm like, it's hard to wrap your season. But I guess half the league did wrap their season, so
yeah, and it's also
maybe it makes sense.
It's such a harsh cutoff too for a lot of people with when they care about fantasy. Like a lot of people are ready to be done with it. I mean, obviously not us, but I know a lot of people are like,
it's like the investment isn't there. So I think next year I'll do it earlier, just because every year I see, man, I wish Sleeper made Fantasy Wrapped, and I'm like, I got one, but
hey, hire our boy.
I always do it like first week in January. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. And yes, shout outs to Dabadoobie. I was using I believe it was Alpha Daddy for the screenshots.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say,
he had
man,
the best value draft.
You used the Alpha Daddy. 4-10. Your best win was me. Come on, man. 132. You got a tanking team putting up 132 on me. No, 159. Oh man, that's brutal. No, I like this. Let's go. I'm pumped.
But yeah, I was like, the album one too. I was like, that'd be fun. Just like the put a bunch of random songs like that. That's kind of the Spotify rap thing where it's like, oh, your age is like 80, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm old. Yeah, I was like, I need a little bit more of that, like a little bit more of those like shareable moments with your league.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I used to do okay, wait. I've been putting all my coworkers on the site. Well, I've been putting pretty much everyone on except my league mates. Also, the warp feature is my favorite. Yeah, highly recommend. I want to start using that more. I feel like a lot of people understand what like warp and war is like at the base level, but I
Mhm.
think it's pretty unexplored, especially in unique scoring formats. Especially if you're playing people that aren't familiar or comfortable with it. So like for the start 2 tight end 0.75 tight end premium league, like joining a league like that for the first time, like that, the first thing I do is let me see what, obviously you can use that same chart to look at just overall like fantasy points per game, but really taking a look at, wins over replacement for each position, I think is like a must for heading into startups and even just individual trades for how you value certain positions.
Well, yeah, and I'll also say I do think war is a huge thing, and I appreciate Jake sharing the words.
Spread the good word.
That's how we started, right? Just people telling people about the sites. Um, but also the league infused trade values for the
Mm,
Patreon members, that also ties in war to the actual fantasy market that's built for your custom league. So it's a cool way to also say, okay, how do I translate it? Because that's what, like, I know war has been around for a little bit, but I was like, how do I take this weird chart and these weird numbers and map it into something that's easily digestible and understandable? And that's kind of my approach of saying, okay, well, how do we value a tight end five in a unique format, like you mentioned, with the two tight end, double tight end premium? And it's like, especially in the best ball where I don't have to make the start sit decisions, that's one where I was like, that the K Dottons and the Higbees and all these random guys are going to have the spike weeks are going to be super valuable in that double tight end format.
yeah, 100%. I think a lot of what I came across, this is in the Charlie Daddy Best Ball League I was talking about with Trade Talks, was the not understanding that taking on hurt players savvy dynasty move, let alone Best Ball dynasty move. Yeah, and I think that's why, and you talked about it a little bit, Jeremy, that this is kind of like you could look at this and think, man, Will got taken to the shed in a dynasty best ball league that is so important for the tight end position. Trading away a rookie tight end who has a role and one that's an absolute stud smashing right now, and you're adding a first onto it. Yeah, Jane Will's perception of Jane Daniels is carrying a lot of weight in this trade, and my hope to absolutely smack Diaz this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do agree with Big Diaz. I think people are starting to accept that more, and I know Big Diaz is in the DD community as well. But I've heard them talk about it, and that's one of the things I feel like I have been different on is when a player is injured, they still are very valuable, and the second they're injured is basically the lowest trade value they're going to have until they come back. Because
Mm,
nothing worse can really happen, right? We Daniel Jones with his Achilles, we know the bad news already. It's not
right.
like he's going like unless he gets in like something crazy, like a car accident or like a gambling scandal or something. Like it's not going to get worse. We know what the bad news is, and it's just going to be rehab. And right when he comes back, he's going to basically be at the same value he was. Now that being said, Achilles is a little bit different because it does shoot the mobility of a quarterback, especially one that needs it. But yeah, I think a lot of players, like we've seen it with Rasheed Rice, if you're patient and willing to invest in that player, especially as a rebuild, that's what I'm trying to do. If
Mm,
all my rebuilding teams, I'm like, I'm constantly hammering the Malik Neighbors and the Tucker Crafts and the even players that are kind of banged up in and out, right? Like the Drake Londons, the Garrett Wilsons, the players that are still going to be elite but just aren't consistent because they're banged up. Lamar Jackson. Those players are buyable, and you're willing to take the risk because you don't need those points.
Appreciate the $2. Since I'm gonna clap Will this weekend, LOL. You know what?
He's giving you some of the winnings.
We
He's
fly
been winning.
high, no lie. You know this. Ballin'. Appreciate it, Diaz. I think it's gonna be a banger matchup. I think we both have pretty good teams, especially for the format. I mean, you've got a pretty solid tight end room, and I do too now after trading away my 26 first and 27 first. What are your Super Bowl predictions? I'm gonna preclude the Lions from my Super Bowl pick just to make it more interesting, since It's kind of an obvious one that we're gonna lock in, make the playoffs here, and it's our year to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's obvious.
If I have to pick an NFC team that's not the Lions, I think I'm still going Rams. I think they have the defense plus quarterback, which is usually just like the nuts Super Bowl combo. It's the Mahomes and the Chiefs defense is awesome. AFC is interesting.
I like Seattle.
I do like Seattle.
I'm not picking them over the Rams because there's one thing I know, and I know a pumpkin when I see it, and I know the clock is going to strike midnight for our friend Sam Darnold, and I just don't. We saw what he did against the Rams. I'm like, I doubt he can win 4 playoff games.
We get another Seahawks Rams game, Week 16, so we'll get to watch that again. But yeah, the AFC is interesting, man. I know that. I mean, the Patriots. I like highest percentage chance to get the bye is the Pats and the Broncos. I just can't bring myself to believe in Bo Nix and the Broncos. I can't do it.
I can't believe in either of them, to be honest. Because I think the Patriots have one of the easiest schedules in like decades.
Yeah, I think, man.
But like, who else is it going to be?
I know it's tough because the default fallbacks.
Chargers,
Chiefs.
Buffalo,
I mean, Chiefs are probably not even making the playoffs. I mean, I think they're lower than 12%.
Houston. Hear me out. Houston isn't the worst.
That defense
is insane.
Yeah, the defense is insane.
And the offense is starting to figure it out. I could see that. I would not want to play them.
I would probably, man. I might go Pats. And it's a little bit of the jeez. It's a little bit of the bye. I really want to go Bills, but it's tough, man. I just don't know how much like hero Superman Josh Allen you can get week in and week out for a team that's scratching and clawing to make the playoffs, is not going to have a bye, and is going to run into some pretty tough defenses.
Yeah. I don't
have my Josh Allen card out. Moved into the new house. It's tucked away safely in a box. Man, I'm letting my boy down.
I do think Buffalo's probably above. I like Buffalo. I'd like the Chargers. I feel like if they can figure out the offensive line. I know the Eagles game was rough, but that team there's just so much talent there.
I need to find the stat. I think the like pressure rate that Herbert faced, it was like historic levels in that Eagles game. Eagles game.
I was full transparency watching the game. I was in a recliner. I had my laptop on my lap. I was working on Fantasy Wrapped.
Nice.
So I was just tinkering away, and every time the game was on, I would look up, and it was just turnover, Herbert getting ripped in half. It's just like I was like, what is going on here? I like the Chargers. I just wish their offensive line was healthy. I think they would probably be the 1 seed if they had Joe Alt and Slater could actually protect. But I don't know. I mean, no one in the AFC screams to me. Like I'm like Buffalo by default. I kind of like Houston though. I think Houston's starting to put it together. If their defense stays healthy and continues to do what they're doing, and CJ Stroud can figure it out, I could see them being annoying to play. I just don't trust. I think the Buffalo Patriots game I think it's next week. That will be the game where I know if I'm in or not on Buffalo. If Buffalo comes in and just actually lays down the law, then I'm like, okay, Buffalo's the team to win. But if they come out and do what they did last time, I'll be like, okay, never mind. Like it probably is the Patriots at this point.
Yeah. Man. I mean, we potentially are running into like a no Ravens, no Chiefs AFC playoff picture. And it's kind of like, I know people, I saw a comment, yes, Buffalo's most season, Pats are still too young, but like the Pats are young, but the other teams in AFC they're going up against are the Broncos, you got the Texans, you've got
I think that Texans defense is going to be so key. Like I think that defense is better than most defenses.
Oh yeah.
Maybe only the Broncos defense is one that could cause as much issues.
The Texans defense to me, like for fantasy purposes, is like I would 100% be playing Jacoby Brissett
It's a void.
in a lot of leagues this next week, just based off of like current QB situations and like projected volume. But I just can't bring myself to do it in that matchup
No,
specifically.
it's a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson alone is a nightmare, and then you add in that amazing secondary.
Yeah,
Like
just
nobody
was open.
And a defensive minded head coach, like they're always I mean,
all right, let's do
the Chiefs are locked in. Oh, this is I just want to shout out Dynasty Jake here. This is the official slogan of the Chargers. Next year is the lock. We got it next year for 6 years straight.
The funny thing is, I actually like 100% agree with that. Not even memeing. I'm just such a Herbert believer. And
no,
man, you got Hampton.
I do this every year. You got Hampton, you got Ladd, you got QJ breaking out, you got Gadsden.
We've got
how are we not there?
When the playoffs are set, because we're continuing. Actually, this is a live question. We're continuing these streams right through the end of time, Tuesday night.
Yeah, until my hair turns gray or falls out. Whatever happens first.
We're gonna do some playoff prediction stuff. I guess that's all I had. I kind of wanted to have like a.
I thought you had an idea. You're like building it up.
I have a single idea. We're gonna make a playoff prediction when the playoffs are set. Also the playoff basketball. Yeah, there's that.
Seamless. That was great. Yeah, we'll have to do something because like obviously dynasty trades aren't going to be really popping off in like early January.
Yeah,
and we could talk. We can talk like
we'll talk rookie talk too.
Probably have some theory talk.
College season is done, or college football season is done. Playoffs are done, and we've got pretty decent like mocks to go through and stuff. Like we'll have some dynasty combos to have, but
we'll have to do some playoff game or something.
Oh my gosh, guys, we're in the fantasy playoffs, man. 3 weeks, three weeks from now, we'll be waiting. This is a pretty loaded question. What current rookies? Oh, okay. So this is, sorry, I kind of read this as like incoming rookies. What current rookies should be targets going into next season? I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out for Igbokwe. Like the target volume has been nuts, but he's kind of had like the reverse rookie where it was like smashing on these like low target numbers at the beginning of the season. And then the like catchable throw rate from Baker has been pretty rough, but Igbokwe's also had some like abysmal drops, which I don't like. That has just not been Igbokwe's thing. So I'm still pretty in on him, just not at the CeeDee Lamb Jr. prices that he had like week 4. Who else? I think McMillan. I like.
I mean, I obviously like. I think the big guys, right? Like I think Tet and Igbokwe are probably
like I would pay the price for them.
Yeah,
not just
I think
like
both of them.
Buy low.
You just feel good. I still think Hampton is just going to absolutely shred. This offensive line stinks, and he's still doing well.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to be an absolute buzzsaw when he's not one game back from a broken ankle. We saw what he could do earlier in the year, and now once they have a actual functioning offensive line, that's going to be an absolute buzzsaw.
I think he might be pretty obtainable too, just from the perspective of I do think there's a lot of, and I think it's totally fair. Like there's a lot of people that would say Hampton would not have had this like insane rookie season if not for, or like stretch of insane games if not for the Najee injury. Like it was going to be a split forever, and then Kamani Vidal plays well, and it's a split the first game back. So like I think there's a lot of people that would see that and be worried about the dynasty value of that running back long term when it's just like good offense, good role, like
good offense, good role,
good player.
That's what I want. First round draft capital,
triple
back.
threat.
Like that's I mean that you see it even with like Jahmyr Gibbs, right? David Montgomery, they signed him, they draft Jahmyr Gibbs. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And then they split him, and it's like. I think if you had either of them, you're like, I don't really care because this offense is so good. They're going to be putting up elite numbers. And then if one gets injured, the other one's going to become a locked in top 5 option for the week. So I feel like that's going to be, I love players like that. I think Jinty's also a decent buy, but yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one,
I
just because
think
the situation isn't like you're paying an
Burden.
elite price for probably a rough
I like I like
rollout
I
still.
like Burden. I'm curious what I mean. We'll see what the end of the season looks like if Rome's out for extended time. Um,
Hmm.
we didn't see as much of a increase in role for Loveland and Burden I was hoping for with the Rome injury, but I think he looks good, and like all the per route stuff is really good for Burden, and I just think he's a awesome player, and I think DJ Moore is not long for a
Yeah, DJ
meaningful
Moore's
role
kind of on his way out.
in this Bears offense, and I think the future of Rome, Burden, Loveland with hate to say it, Ben Johnson calling the show. I want to be in on. I can't. Ooh, man, is Ibuka still a must start? I know it's been a stretch of what, like 4 or 5 disappointing games, but man, the target numbers are just nuts. And I think there's some merit to like Mike Evans coming back and that just being good for Baker and the Bucks offense overall. We got the Falcons this week, right? I still think so. I mean, probably in the same way that Justin Jefferson still feels like a must start in your starting 3 or 4 receiver leagues. It's just like, how do I bench this for? Like, who are you benching it
Vele.
for? Vele.
Yeah,
Dude.
Michael Wilson.
Guys, can you guys help me? Am I benching Justin Jefferson in the home league? I don't know what to do, guys. I'm spooked.
I know the Jefferson stuff is tough. I
He
mean,
gets to play the
I think
Cowboys. It's like the
he's
one thing.
similar. I'm more inclined to start Ibuka, I think, just because
Yeah, I think
that
so too.
offense is much better. Like the issue isn't the offense. Like the issue with Jefferson is like his quarterback is just not going to give him enough volume to reliably get you fantasy points. So you're kind of just hoping it's like 4 catches and a touchdown, and you can call it a day and be okay with it. With the Igbuka, he has that crazy high ceiling, especially with players coming back. I'm probably still rolling out with Igbuka unless I have an elite option I'm benching. Right? If I'm benching, I was trying to think of a random one, but like even like a Michael Wilson who's like has been performing really well,
Yeah.
I'd feel okay with. But that being said, he's going against the Texans, so I'd probably just roll with Igbuka.
Yeah,
Um,
there's like a stretch of like, it's like, man, when it's like Jefferson versus like Debo and like that range of receiver where it's like,
yeah,
how much upside do you really have? Like, how much are you missing out on benching literally like top 3 receiver in the league in what is just a
yeah, it's
bad
like 2
situation?
points or something.
Yeah, and would not. I
Like
mean,
I just want to start the stud.
yeah. All right, it's fine. I'll be okay, guys. I can't forget Caleb Johnson, right? Hey! I think Gadsden might be an interesting buy for me from the perspective of if the end of the season is pretty bad, like for the Chargers passing game overall, just with no offensive line, Herbert broken hand. Um, it's kind of weird. Like the Chargers offense is still doing a lot of like downfield stuff, and Herbert this last game has had to run around. But I still think the role's pretty good, and I will take Chargers tight end that's gonna play, 70% plus snaps pretty
Would you rather
pretty
have
happily.
Gadsden or Fannin?
I think it's got to be Fannin. Just in the way that he just ate Njoku's lunch to me.
That was very impressive, to be honest. Like I thought, I was like
he
the
like,
fact that he went into Njoku, like Njoku was like locked in fantasy wide receiver, like locked in tight end,
yeah,
and he got drafted there, and everyone's like, crap, like this is like the worst spot he could land because it's one of the few extended locked in tight ends in a bad passing offense. So Njoku's going to eat, and it
yeah,
turns out nope, Brandon's just going to take it. I feel like he's kind of like everyone loves the Gadsden breakout for 3 weeks, but Fannon's just been reliably putting up pretty good weeks every week.
yeah. And I think the other part of that is the value story of Fannin. Like it's hard to think about Dynasty longer than 1 to 2 years in terms of expectations for a player. But for rookies, I do like having this kind of lookout for the future. Imagine when Fannin gets whoever it is, the Browns have their quarterback, like whatever. We'll see what
Shador
happens this next
Sanders.
year. I think Shador probably does get at least a season. this next year, depending on how the rest of the year goes this year, and then the draft. If he has like 2 or 3 meltdown games and takes like 10 sacks and throws 3 picks, like, okay, maybe they end up taking a rookie quarterback. But, 2 years from now, we get whoever the Sam Darnold is goes to the Browns, like that is like, oh my gosh, the Fannin breakout. Like, this is Brock Powers Jr. Let's go. Like,
JJ McCarthy.
I think that's more likely. Yeah, I think
a Cleveland Brown.
I think that's more likely to happen for Fannin and him having a huge spike in, one, just overall dynasty value, but 2, movability. Like, you're able to move him for meaningful prices. Bryce Young, Cleveland Brown. Oh my gosh. That city would eat him alive. Or maybe not. Maybe they just have been so battle tested at the quarterback position.
Bryce Young in Philly would be so bad. I couldn't even imagine what the Philly fans would say to Bryce Young.
Wait, what's I'm looking up the Phillip Rivers. I have not seen this actually. Is it? Wow, Phillip Rivers, very real chance to start in week 15. I was not expecting that. I thought it would at least be a week, but I guess if you're doing it, you're doing it,
Is he fresh? I heard that one thing of like he
best shape of his life, his 44
best
years.
shape of his life. I was like, are we seriously doing best shape of his life? And
no, it's different.
Week 15.
Should I pick up Phillip Rivers over? I'm so glad I happily started Lamar. Not that he like absolutely smashed last week, but yeah, I mean, dude, playing Cincy. I know he had a bad game, but the bad game was kind of like, that was the likely drop. Derrick Henry touchdown. He still had 246 passing. I'm starting Lamar like he's Lamar in all my leagues. Not that this was like a serious question, but I think some people would be. I know people last week were, Jacoby Brissett versus Lamar, which I think was a reasonable question. Start 2.
I mean, Brissett's been scoring pretty well.
Ooh, Lamar, Drake May, or Dak. You get what's the weather like in?
What's the matchups?
So you get Lamar, Cincy. You get Drake May, Buffalo. And who the Cowboys play? You get Cowboys Vikings in a dome. It's in Dallas.
Cowboys Vikings. I think it's safe to say we lock in Drake May, right?
I'm playing Lamar, man. You can't make me not play Lamar. Even though these are all 3 great options. I can't do it.
This is one of those things where it's like tough. I get why you want to have 3 players like this, but it's also like, man, it stinks that Lamar's been kind of like shaky, but it's also Lamar has been such a staple of your starting lineup for years that you're like, I can't bench Lamar.
Yeah.
This is the playoffs when it matters most.
This is the kind of start sit question that I let like the sports books decide for me by just looking at overall like totals. Like, yeah, you could look at like player prop lines, but like which game is most likely to be, geez, what happened? And I think it's probably the Vikings defense potentially against the Cowboys. But I like all of them. I'm not saying that it's like something I'm avoiding.
Let's see, it says Lamar, the Dynasty Daddy starts tool, has Lamar and Drake May.
I think I'm with it. 47.5, 5.5 favorites for the Cowboys. 50.5 total. Patriots, Bills. They're 1.5 point dogs. The Pats. 52.5. Yeah, I just can't, man. I can't bench Lamar in a 52.5 total. They're 2.5 point favorites against the Bengals. The Bengals. Yeah, I could see this. I don't necessarily think this is like a lock that Dak against Minnesota with how Dak's played this year is going to be for sure a snooze fest, but I think it's the most likely to be, oh, this game absolutely sucked versus Bills, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, even though Lamar just 2 weeks ago did not produce.
I mean, not to be like simplistic about it, but too, like, we've seen Dak put up good games that follow a certain game script, and he scored like 4 points. Um, I just feel like the rushing upside of a Lamar and Drake May is just such a safer floor that it's like even if they get like 30 rushing yards, that's going to be enough to be probably better than Dak, unless Dak goes nuclear and has one of his best games ever.
Yeah. Yeah, the if no CD, it doesn't help either. Yeah, I it's very tough. I've heard like I saw like the no setbacks report for the concussion thing. It was the Thursday night game, which gives a little bit of extra time. Like I think most players are out the following week,
Yeah, out.
especially with like some of the fencing stuff. Like whenever you get the like hands with the concussions, I feel like that is like an extra uh scary, spooky in terms of being healthy and available to play the next week. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good call out.
no CD I think would be for sure. Give me the other two guys, but I'm still probably still leaning the other two. All right, what's Michael Wilson's outlook with Marv there, with either Jacoby or a new quarterback? The Michael Wilson stuff is interesting. I know, we got the one Marv game back during the Michael Wilson breakout, and it was a pretty disappointing game. But I wonder how much of that is, I don't know. I don't want to get too crystal ball-y, but how much is that like the position that both of them are being put at the wide receiver spot versus like, let's let Marv do a little bit more of the sacrificial X stuff and let Michael cook. But I like Michael Wilson. I mean, and it's not even necessarily just like a look at the production over the last couple weeks. It's just man, if this is the Cardinals offense, like I want a piece of that, Obviously would love Trey McBride, but just in terms of a team that's going to pass the ball, could put up a 40-50 passing attempt game. Like I want a receiver that's that's running 80% of the routes.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that if the offense continues to throw the ball as much as they are, Michael Wilson's going to be fine. I mean, I kind of see him as not the same type of player, but kind of the same dynasty value type players, like a Jacoby Myers
Yeah.
at the high end, or like a Wendell Robinson, where certain situations and certain game scripts are going to really lean their way, and they're going to put up really good numbers, maybe for 1 to 5 weeks or so, and that's because the volume's there. But I don't think they're going to be like you're never going to be like, oh man, Michael Wilson's a top 15 dynasty wide receiver. Like you got to hold on to him.
Yeah.
It's like
But you don't have to pay those
he could
prices.
flame out like a Darnell Mooney next year once they get a new quarterback and a new offense, or he could be kind of like an established low end flex guy that sometimes has those high end weeks. And it certainly is great to see him thrive in this Jacoby Brissett offense. That being said, I don't know if Jacoby Brissett is going to be the long term option. And if even the next guy's going to be able to throw as much as Jacoby Brissett. Because, I mean, Jacoby Brissett a couple weeks ago broke the NFL record for like most passing attempts or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see that type of offense every week. But
we're not going to see a Kyler offense.
Like, in Cleveland.
But it's a good shout. Michael Wilson was an early third round pick. Dude knows how to ball. And I mean, Michael Wilson, like give him credit through the Kyler experience. Like, no, it hasn't been high target volume, but week in and week out, like it's like, okay, two or three receptions, but like, man, what a catch by Michael Wilson. Like he was kind of sacrificial X for that Cardinals team, but he would make plays. Like he is not a nothing receiver. So, and this is from the perspective of a second, third swap for something like that. Like it's not, you're not having to pay super meaningful prices.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what you see with like the Wayndells, right? The Wayndells, Jacoby Myers was a later pick, but I mean those types of players where they, Wayndell was a second round pick, but they stay on the field, they get enough targets, earn enough volume that you feel confident in them. Because the last thing you want is like to be those like Mac Holland types where it's like 1 week they're amazing, 1 week they're nothing.
Yeah.
As long as they're getting enough targets, and I can totally see Michael Wilson with Marvin Harrison Jr. being that type of role.
Yeah, it'll Trey McBride, wide receiver 1. I mean, dude's a unit. What did you grab, Will? Don't worry about it. I ran out of drink in my cup, and I thought I had a water bottle in my workout bag. Did not have a water bottle in my workout bag. All right. Oh, I missed this one.
McBride is wide receiver 1.
Will. I almost traded Jettas for CD, but the concussion spooked me off from sending it to Jerry. Oof, I would do that in a heartbeat on my JJ teams. I get it though, but man,
Dude, I was trying to trade him. He calls me Jerry for some reason, but this is on my home league with Tristan. And I was like, you want Amon-Ra? You want CD for Jettas? And he's a contender. I'm a rebuilder. And he's like, nah, dude. I'm gonna lose first round. That's what he told me.
Man, my home league guys, I've fallen from grace. I used to be like the super team dominant, and I am not favored week 1 of the playoffs. Jamming in that Justin Jefferson for that 6 to 7 points each week. I know, Tristan, I know it is so hard, and we did the trade talk last week, and when I'm on the show, I'm always like, yeah, you can tear down off of Justin Jefferson, like it's, we fall into the traps of dynasty value when all that matters is the production you're getting this year. Plus, they're going to be in a similar-ish range, even if it's a round behind in the startups. And then you think about trading away Justin Jefferson. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Been jamming in Lamar.
Yeah,
I'm still doing it though.
Big guys are tough to trade.
Hey, I got a good Lamar week. It's not jamming in Lamar anymore. He figured it out. He definitely does not look 100% the same, but I mean, if he's gonna run 7 times a game at least, and a lot of these, like some of the Lamar stuff, like you had the likely, it should have been a touchdown on this likely play this last game. 2 games ago, had another likely fumble that should have been a touchdown or brought down at the 1. Yeah, no, I'm in on Lamar, guys. Jeremy failed me.
I think to the Lamar, before you talk about me failing, to me, this might just be bad process, but mentally, I'm like, I don't want to overthink it in the playoffs and be like, let me try to read the tea leaves and bench Lamar Jackson, and then he drops 30, and that's the reason I'm not in the next round of the playoffs. Like, I can live with starting Lamar and having him put up 4 points and I'm out. And I'm like, well, I started Lamar and he had a bad game, but it's Lamar Jackson, so you start him. I don't want to be like, let me try to start Jacoby Brissett against the Texans because I think, like, let me try, Phillip Rivers, volume. Right? Like, I don't want to overthink it. Like, just go with the guy that is locked in to be, that producer.
Yeah. All right, wait. Jeremy failed you.
Okay, rip into me.
Was a contender along with me. Now we have a couple of jabronis outside of our friend group with the top 2 teams. What's the failing? You guys were gonna collude together. It sounds like you had some nice potential collusion save with the Justin Jefferson CD trade. Tristan, I think it sounds like you failed yourself.
Tristan got cold feet on trying to win. He's good with being the Pittsburgh Steelers and not trying to actually go for it all.
Come on.
But yeah, I mean, we were running the league. I've been to 3 finals. Tristan's been to 2. He's won 2. I've won 1. The funny part is we never played each other in the finals. So through 6, I think this would be the 6th year. So through the first 5 years, we just swapped years. But our division. So one fun thing about this league is since it's a home league, you have some weird rules. Mm-hmm. We have 3 divisions, 12 team. Winner of the division gets to draft the divisions for next year. So you do like a snake draft and you pick the new divisions. So we're like, oh, this will be fun to kind of shake up who you play twice a year. Tristan won first year and picked the exact same division. So that just became like tradition is our division picks the same division every single year. So it got to the point where we had, at the time, we had the 3 best teams in that division, but we would always pick our own division every single year. So it was just like a murderer's row of teams. But now our division kind of stinks.
You guys got to get back on track. You guys got to tune into the Dynasty Daddy trade show Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll help you guys out.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it, study up a bit.
Dude, the digs questions are tough for me, Diaz. Just like 2 straight weeks of like weird, less than 50% snap share, 3 targets, 4 targets. I don't think I can choose Diggs even in the revenge game over Sutton, who just have a 10 target game. even though I'm not a believer.
Big Diaz, I think you can look into all the sheets you want and all the data.
Go with your gut.
At the bottom of it, change Stephon Diggs' name to like Romeo Dobbs. Because that's what it is. Like sometimes he's gonna put up an amazing week, and sometimes it's just not in it. And
Dude,
why?
If you
and
told me
frustrating.
If I could look at only snap share percentage and I looked at it and I saw 80% for Diggs, it's Diggs in a heartbeat. But it's not been that all season. He just is. Yeah. He's like glorified Keenan Allen, but he is good. But good doesn't score you fantasy points. Pittman or Diggs or Chedas. Dude, Pittman could get the Phillip Rivers
Oh my
12
God.
target
game.
Think
about that. I was like, oh, you just go Pittman. But yeah, no, it's the God damn, I don't even know what to expect from Jetta, or not Jettas. Well, I don't know what to expect from Jettas, but I also don't know what to expect from.
I can't, guys.
This is a terrible situation.
Just don't.
I feel like
don't ask me
Sutton
Justin Jefferson questions.
I think you skipped the. Did we talk about Sutton or Diggs?
Yeah, I did the.
It's similar. I'm like Sutton.
10 targets.
I'm like, yeah, more comfortable in Sutton, but like Pittman, Diggs, and Jettas, I'm like, which is crazy to think, like Jettas. If only Tristan, you had CeeDee Lamb or Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you had a motivated seller of either Amon-Ra St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb.
This Beast Nights point, I mean, I don't want to get to like when Will starts predicting offensive coordinator game plans, like we're getting dangerous. But I would envision the easy. I mean, Pittman does a lot of the RPO stuff, so like there's some merit there with Rivers, but I do think the easy button screen stuff that we've seen from Tyler Warren, I could see that being turned up a notch with Phillip Rivers. And it's like one drive or one play each drive is we're running a screen to Tyler Warren, or we're doing some kind of easy button completion. Man, I would love it to just be check down city. Let's get Jonathan Taylor in space after some disappointing weeks, but I'll be okay. I'm
curious
with
you. What exercise band Anthony Richardson was using, because he's still been out. Dude, like this is his time to shine.
Can I Google Anthony Richardson face?
I feel like it's gonna be like the McDonald's like hot coffee story where you're like, oh, like how hot can coffee be, and it like had like fourth degree burns or whatever.
This is making me sad. I looked up Anthony Richardson face, and I'm just seeing like old Florida pictures of him wearing like bow ties during his interviews and stuff. Oh, it's making me sad. He's blind. Yeah, like literally. I know there's some people that were like, I saw a post that was like, you destroyed the Anthony Richardson relationship. I was like, no, this guy, like, he destroyed his eye with a workout band. Like, that is unrelated.
That's crazy. I will say, shout the home league that Tristan's talking about. I hope you win it, but also that's the league that motivated me to start Dynasty Daddy to begin with. So
let's go.
It's a full circle moment there.
The home league, man, shout out to my home league. I first Dynasty league was the home league. I used to do. I don't have time to do it anymore, but I used to do the classic weekly videos. I used to interview Dynasty managers, talk through the classic. Everyone needs to do that at one point.
I did one season. I did newspaper.
Oh, let's go.
I think you could.
Oh gosh.
I did it for like a whole year. It was like 4 or 5 pages. Then I was like, I need to stop this.
That's tough.
And that was before Gen AI too. So I was handwriting all this crap.
All right.
All for one fire emoji in the Discord. I'm like,
it's all worth it.
7 hours of my life writing this, one little fire emoji. I'm like, never mind.
Hey, I turn that into 2 when I see it. Let's go. All right, guys. Any closing questions, thoughts, start sits? The fantasy playoffs are upon us. Don't overthink it, but don't underthink it. All right? 1 week
My
at a time.
question is, or my statement would be, can you sleep with your decision at night if it
Wow.
goes wrong? You know, like
Everyone's jamming Justin Jefferson and Lamar.
Because to me, it's like I don't want to make it this like read the tea leaves too much and be starting veiling over Justin Jefferson. Like at that point, I'm like, let me just go down with the ship. It's going to happen. You know, certainly if you're looking at like Pittman tier or something like that, those are much more viable starting options. But to me, like, don't try to overthink it too much or try to find some secret metric that you're like, oh, I have to do this because this. You know, do what you've been doing mostly. You know, use the start sit tool, things like that. Obviously, look at the matchups and things, but don't overthink it because the last thing you want to do is like be like, oh, I'm starting all these good guys, but now I'm just gonna change everything up because maybe I hit the one Sean Tucker spike week.
All right, we're gonna leave you on this. Bryce or Tua, QB2. You get Tua Steelers. You get Bryce. Wait, I was gonna say Bryce Falcons. Who do the Panthers play?
Saints.
Bryce Saints. Oh yeah. At New Orleans, 40.5 total.
I will have to say,
Isn't
it might be Bryce Young season.
I think the Steelers game, does that one have wonky weather? Sorry?
I don't know. The ESPN data I
early.
have does not show up on my site yet. Yeah.
It's just Pittsburgh in December. I would check on that. And it is the Monday night game.
I think I'd probably just ride, especially since it's Jake asking. I'm like, you got to go with Bryce.
Yeah.
Man. That's your guy.
How are you going to sleep at night?
Yeah. If you bench Bryce Young and
for Tua,
he drops a 40. Yeah, for Tua. It's not Lamar. Come on.
Yeah.
Can't bench him for Tua.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh. Yeah. You get Bryce in a dome. Come on. Yeah. I'm with it.
Yeah,
I got Bryson. I got Bryson Charlie Daddy. Let's go. I'm with you.
Bryce is he's kind of like the Jared Goff dynasty player, where like,
go on.
Outside of like his rookie year, you're like, I don't feel great about him, and like he kept having these crazy highs and lows, but like no one ever really wanted him. But then he's also good enough to keep around.
He can do the thing,
like,
you know?
I can't. Yeah, like I'm like, I can't trade Bryce Young for anything, but I'm also like, what I would get for trading Bryce Young is not worth trading Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Plus, we're gonna
and that's
take his 5th year extension or whatever.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I know you haven't been the biggest Bryce Young. I think it's kind of like, what else are you gonna do type of thing, where unless you have a in your face, like, he's been so bad this year, we're picking top 5, like those kind of conversations, versus, you know, we're on the verge of making the playoffs. You know, it's the logical thing to do for a quarterback reaching the end of his rookie deal to do that. So
yeah, I mean, I think you just take him an extra year, and then if he levels up from there, then you're like, sick, let's give him a big extension. If not, you can let him walk.
If he leveled up, Bryce with eating the Mario mushroom or plus 10 level after getting 100 XP.
Eating a mega mushroom and being a 6-1.
Oh man. All right, this is a big week for us, guys. Lions need to get I mean, this is kind of, I'm treating every game like a Lions must win.
Nirvana.
Man.
First division win since I don't even remember. Probably
dude, that Bucks game is gonna be a great game. Panthers Bucks.
That's gonna be electric, especially if we beat the Saints. That's gonna. I can't wait to have that be blow up in my face. I think that might be. I may have tickets to that game. I think that's the game.
Oh dang.
Yes, yeah. I'm going with my family. Shout out to my family.
Let's go. Shout outs to family.
That's how I know it was going to be bad, because I went to Panthers undefeated season. I bought tickets 2 weeks before. I bought tickets to the Buccaneers season closer. And I was like, we would be 15-0, about to go 16-0. This is like me playing Madden. It's like a dream. And then we lose to the Falcons. And I'm like, well, it was still awesome though. Like I still remember everyone chanting MVP, Cam like doing an amazing run towards the pylon. Man, I miss Cam Newton.
You got Bryce. You got
I miss Kuechly. I miss having a defense that wasn't
neutral good. Neutral good, Cam Newton. All right. Appreciate you all. Good luck this week. I'm gonna be active in the Discord. If you guys got, I'm gonna do the start sit question things. I'll get my input, even though I wouldn't bank on me to be the start sit question guy after going through all the jamming of Justin Jefferson and disappointing Lamar Jackson weeks.
Also we got the start sit tool as well, so
True.
you can
Don't listen to me.
Check. Well, no.
No.
I'm still saying it's good, but if you're like, I don't know, we do have that, and that will be updating every day as well.
Man, let's go and make that trade. You got the trade. You don't have a deadline. You're starting Chris Rodriguez in your RB2 slot. So, send that second. Give yourself a chance.
A second for Kareem Hunt.
Second for Kareem Hunt, guys. Come on, Kansas City RB1.
You rejected a third. You just said send a second.
Send a second for a different running back. Send a second for a running back.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, exactly. Just start all three Chiefs running backs. One of them will score points. All right. Appreciate you all. Much love. See you next Tuesday. Also,
sometime.
Sorry, I just got.
Oh my god.
I don't want to do this right now, but my wife uses the "see you next Tuesday" vernacular to potentially describe. Never mind. This is a family friendly stream. All right. Appreciate you all. See you next Tuesday. I'm not calling anyone any names. Also, stay tuned. I will announce next Tuesday. I'm going to announce potentially the best ball streams for the playoffs. Appreciate you all. Much love. Good luck this week. Survive in advance. Peace out. Peace.
That was your best one yet.